Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Pass Pirate Pay, the movie discussion show. My name is Ken. I'm your host, alongside my co-host Andy. Andy, how you doing?
I'm great, Ken. How are you?
Spectacular. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah. Did you do anything fun for New Year's?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I stayed here with the dogs while they cowered in fear of the fireworks.
Whoa, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I comforted them and watched more fireworks on TV.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yeah. I got invited to a friend's house at about 6 p.m. and I was like, that doesn't sound very good. And he was and then they're like, yeah, we're probably gonna leave way before midnight. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds pretty good. So I went and hung out with some people and then went home and was home by 10 p.m. And
oh, nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was nice.
Yeah. I think we're getting too old for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, we might be old people, I think.
Yeah. Usually I play for New Year's, but we didn't have a gig this year, so
yeah.
That's always fun. I like playing on New Year's. Yeah. I like working.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You get to do the countdown and everything. Everybody's all having a good time. Yeah,
I've had some great New Year's playing. Yeah. Like all of my friends come to the gig. It's just fun.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
But not this year. Yeah. This year was just me and the dogs. Scaredy cat dogs.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this week on the show we're getting a little spooky.
Oh.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
We're doing vampires.
We're not doing the spookiest of vampires.
No.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, bit. So we're doing 2013's Only Lovers Left Alive. Mm-hmm. Then we're doing 2023's Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what it's called.
I think so.
I've been trying. People keep asking me, "What are you doing on the show this week?" And I just cannot remember the title of this movie.
It's a long title, but it definitely encapsulates everything the movie is about.
To be sure. And then our last movie is going to be Nosferatu in theaters now. So let's. What do you say we jump right in?
All right, go ahead, Ken. I'm following your lead as always.
Go chronologically. So let's go back to 2013 with Jim Jarmusch's Only Lovers Left Alive. This movie is about Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston play vampires that have been alive for centuries. And they're living on separate continents, and the world is basically decaying all around them. And they're
normal decay.
Yeah, but they're just basically living and observing as the world is getting shittier and shittier.
Yeah.
So this movie starts off with, they have shots of Tilda and Tom. Their names are Adam and Eve.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah. It's not great, but they're laying on their backs and they're looking up and the camera's looking down at them and the camera is spinning around, and then they show stars in the sky, and then this camera starts spinning, the stars start moving, and then they cut to a 45 spinning on a turntable.
Yeah.
And that starts spinning around, and everything is spinning.
Deadly cool.
And the song is Funnel of Love, and it's covered by Squirrel, which is Jim Jarmusch's own band. And it's exactly what I thought.
That wasn't the woman, what is her name? Wanda Jackson?
No, it was a cover.
Oh, because I knew it was different, but it sounded like just a remix of Wanda Jackson.
I looked it up. It was a cover. I forget the name of the woman who's singing with Jim Jarmusch's band.
Okay.
But it's not the original song. It's not the Wanda Jackson version.
All right.
But anyway, within the first 30 seconds of this movie, I was like, this is a movie for me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a movie that I am going to love. It's like, the mood is set perfectly. The song is awesome. The shots look great. Everything, it looks super cool. I'm totally into it. And simultaneously, I'm thinking, Andy is going to fucking hate this movie.
Boy, you nailed it.
I mean, as this movie is going on, I'm just like, there is no chance in hell that Andy likes this movie.
I have seen a few Jim Jarmusch movies.
Yeah.
I've seen The Dead Don't Die, which is a zombie movie.
Right.
I saw Dead Man. I saw Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I saw this.
Yeah.
The only one I liked out of all of them was Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yeah, I remember you said you didn't like Dead Man, and I was like, oh boy, this one doesn't have a chance.
Boring movie.
I like a lot of Jim Jarmusch movies. Stranger Than Paradise, his first movie, I think is really good, and Coffee and Cigarettes is great, and this one I thought was really fucking great. I really, really liked it. I mean, this is a movie that is 100% atmosphere and 0% plot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which
is I hate those movies.
Yeah, exactly. This is
like you have to create one fucking hell of an atmosphere,
right,
for me to enjoy it.
And I feel like he did. Like, I just think like the music in this movie is so awesome. I thought like it just sounds great. It's all like really slow, languid music, but it's also kind of noisy. It just sounds super cool to me. I just really loved it. And like I think it looks really cool. I don't know, man. The aesthetic of the movie I was so into it. I thought it was really fantastic.
I thought it was dull as dishwater, man.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a few things going on in this movie. These vampires are
depressed.
They're not killers. Yeah, they are depressed.
Well,
like,
not all of them, but Adam is depressed.
Is very depressed. So the movie starts. He's in Detroit. And Eve,
just depressing.
It's very depressing. He's in the fucking ruins of Detroit.
Yeah.
And Eve, she's in Tangier, which looks pretty vibrant and kind of cool.
Yeah.
They don't kill. They both have ways through various medical establishments of getting blood.
Yes.
So they're not going around.
How boring.
They're not going around killing people. Right.
How fucking boring. You're doing a vampire movie and they're feeding in the like the most boring possible way.
Well, the thing
they're just
is
paying for Jeffrey Wright for blood.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, the point of the movie, I think, is about decay of the world, right? So the reason that they don't go hunting for blood like a typical vampire would is that all of the humans have tainted blood. Like, the way we live now, the way we humans live now is so filthy and unclean, and our environment is so toxic.
Clean blood.
Right. It's they're finding clean blood is a commodity that's really hard to come by. So it's just like,
yeah, because they do with John Hurt, and I thought the John Hurt stuff was good.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. So John Hurt,
I love John Hurt.
John Hurt is great. Yeah, he's great. I think everybody in this movie is awesome.
I thought they all did a fine acting job.
When I was watching the opening credits, I just kept seeing people's names, and it's just like, oh wow, and it's a really cool cast. Like Anton Yelchin is in it. He plays a human.
Yeah,
and
that's a tragic story.
Yeah, because he was so good. He was such a good actor.
And you know what happened to him, right?
Was it a car accident?
It was a weird car accident.
Like he got run over by a car when he was standing outside of it or something.
He was at his house.
Yeah.
And he got out of his own car to get the mail. And his own car rolled back and pinned him against like a pillar.
Yeah.
And he died that way.
Yeah.
Just really tragic.
Yeah, because everything I've ever seen him in, I think he was really good.
Yeah.
I really like him in this. He's in this movie, he's the human, basically. He's the main human.
He's the what do you call him? The familiar?
The familiar, yeah.
I guess
he's like Adam's gopher.
Yeah.
Adam just pays him lots of money to go find whatever things he needs, like musical equipment or So Adam is a musician, and he's releasing anonymously all of this music. And so Anton Yelichin's character is like the person responsible for getting that music out into the wild, which is, I guess, how the money keeps coming in.
Yeah.
But he's like so like in love with Adam, basically. He's just like, oh, this guy's so cool. I just want to be around him. I want to be in his orbit. Yeah. And he's like, he's wearing sunglasses whenever they're all wearing sunglasses. He just wants to be part of this world, And
I don't think he knows they're vampires.
No, it's a big secret. Nobody. Yeah, because the plot, for what it's worth, the plot, such as it is, of this movie really starts to get going. So Eve flies from Tangier to Detroit to cheer up depressed Adam.
Yeah.
And right after she gets there, her sister, played by Mia Wasikowska, is that how you say it?
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, she was Alice from the Alice in Wonderland movies, yeah. So she shows up, and she is a dick, I guess, is basically, she's just like, doesn't give a fuck about anything. She's just going to do whatever the hell she wants, and consequences be damned.
Yeah.
So like she shows up and she immediately drinks all of the blood that Adam's got hidden in his refrigerator and
flasks it for when they go out.
Yeah. So the three of them and Anton, they go out to this club to see this band, and Anton's like trying to get them beers and stuff, but they're vampires, so they're not
like,
drinking.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But so the sister, Ava, she's like hanging on to Anton and it's like she's like, oh, we're gonna get this guy. She like everybody can see what's gonna happen, right? It's just like Anton is or I guess his name's Ian in the movie, but he is hanging around with them, and Ava, she's getting very flirty with him, and we all know what's going to happen. And sure enough, after they're done with the music club, Adam and Eve go to bed, and the next morning we wake up, and Ian is dead. He has been drunk by Eva.
Yeah, they were hitting it off. You knew where that was headed.
Yep. And I mean, one of my favorite things in the whole movie is Tom Hiddleston as Adam. He comes in and he sees bloodless Ian on the couch and Eva like laying on top of him, and he just deadpans. He's like, "You drank Ian." Yeah. You drank Ian. Like, I just thought it was so funny. It was so funny. But yeah, so all the vampires refer to all of the humans in this movie as zombies.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of the movie is called Only Lovers Left Alive.
Yeah.
And what I think the title means is that Adam and Eve specifically, and John Hurt as Christopher Marlowe also, they're like the only people left in the world who still appreciate things, because all the humans are just like, they're just zombies. They're just walking through life without realizing the beauty of the world, and they're fucking it up as they go along too, right? So that's what it is, right? Oh, they're the only lovers left alive. Everybody else that's left alive is just taking up space. Yeah. And that's what I mean, that's what I think that the movie is all about, right? The appreciating beauty in a decaying world and trying to, I don't know, stand apart from the dying world we live in. I don't know. That's what it seemed like it was about to me. Okay. And it really resonated with me. I just thought that, like, I don't know, the aesthetic of the vampires was so cool to me that it's like, yeah, we should be like them. I'm in. I buy what Jim Jarmusch is selling with this movie.
I have a different take on it.
All right.
I think that Jim Jarmusch thinks he's cooler than everybody else.
Yeah.
So he wants to make characters that are cooler than everybody else who listen to cool ass music like Jim Jarmusch.
Yeah.
Jim Jarmusch's band. Because Jim Jarmusch dresses like a fucking cool douche.
Yeah, I've actually never seen him. I have no idea what he looks like.
Oh, he's got like white hair and a pompadour, and he's skinny.
Yeah.
He wears like tight jeans and leather jackets. Yeah. He looks just like those goddamn vampires.
Yeah, awesome.
And it's so up its own ass artistic douchey to me. I couldn't get away from that the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's okay to think that you're cool if you're cool. I don't know. I just think this movie is cool.
Okay, that's fine, but also tell a story. Don't just shoot your fucking cool vampires.
But it is, man. It is a story. It's like this movie
barely.
I think it's really about something. I think that the point of the movie really resonated with me. I thought it was super interesting, a super interesting way to show the fact that the world is shitty and getting shittier. And a good way to do that is by having characters who are centuries old and are like, were around before this time, because we weren't here, right? So it's just like these vampires are able to come from a place of knowing what they're talking about when they're saying things aren't as good as they used to be. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting way to go about it. I thought it was super cool.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought it was dull. I had to take 2 swipes at it.
Yeah. I really liked the makeup of the way that the way the characters looked.
The aesthetic of the movie was good. I just wish someone else would write them.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Jim Jarmusch is not a bad director. I think all of his movies look good. They all look good.
Yeah.
They all create a really cool tone. Like the whole universe that his movies take place in, they're all really, like, Dead Man look good. Like, they all look good.
Yeah.
But there's just no stories there.
Yeah.
And it's so dull, and I just want it to be better.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
I think that's why Coffee and Cigarettes worked, because it wasn't telling stories.
Right.
It was just putting 2 interesting people in a room together. 2 or 3, in a room together.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. I guess it's just like his movies to me they're more poetry than prose, right? Where it's just like this movie is about creating feelings. A movie doesn't have to have a story for me. I don't know. If you're making a compelling case for something and doing it in a way that is interesting or cool or fun and I thought this movie was all of those things, then I'm totally on board with it. I just love it. I don't know. I don't need a story if the non-story is cool enough or interesting enough, and I thought this definitely was.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was interesting. I mean, it was interesting to look at.
Yeah.
I'll give it that, you know, for sure. But yeah, I was just bored to tears.
Yeah, I knew it. I absolutely knew it.
Except when John Hurt was on screen. Like, I thought that all his stuff, I would have loved it to see a movie about Christopher Marlowe, the vampire, with John Hurt playing the old version. I would love to see that.
Right.
That was the most interesting part for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I could tell within 30 seconds. I knew that I would love it and you would hate it. And I just I was totally on board. Like,
I wasn't sure where you would be on it because I can never tell where you're going to fall on things.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty predictable.
Yeah. I don't know. You've surprised me before, but this one I was pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
If it's a boring ass movie, you can count on me not liking it.
All right.
So is that it? Is that all you have for
what I got
Only
for
Lovers Left Alive?
Yep.
So I think it's pretty clear where we're at.
Yeah,
on this.
I think so. But make it official, right?
So let's make it official. Ken, where do you stand? Pass, pirate, or pay on Only Lovers Left Alive?
Only Lovers Left Alive, definitely a pay for me.
Definitely a pass for me. Pass.
Okay, our second movie today is a humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person from 2023. This is a French-Canadian movie directed by Ariane Louises.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of this movie until you told me we were going to be watching it.
I watched this I want to say like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
I think I found it just by browsing through the movie thing.
Yeah.
And I saw it. I'm like, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. So the thing I said earlier, I can never remember the title of this movie.
Yeah.
It was just like the title of this movie is, I think, simultaneously awesome and terrible. Like, where it's just like, I can't tell anybody to watch this movie because I can't remember the name of the fucking the title of it. But at the same time, when you hear the title of this, I heard the title of this movie, like, there's no way that movie's not going to be good. How is it? There's just no way. It's an amazing title for a movie. There's no chance it's going to be bad.
It's a big, ballsy title. That sounds like a title a studio would go, no, absolutely not. And it ended up getting through anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Maybe, in Quebec, that's they don't have a big studio system, but if you want to make a movie there, just like, yeah, do what you want. Whatever. We don't care. Yeah, so this movie is about a young teenage vampire named Sasha. She comes from a vampire family, which
I thought was really funny.
It's an interesting way to go about it, yeah. And she is tremendously empathetic, and she loves people.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want to kill. So once again, we have non-murdering vampires.
Non-murdering vampire. But at least this is the focus of it. Like, this is the crux of the film.
Right. So the movie starts with her as a little girl, and her parents are like, oh, no, it's just a phase. She'll grow out of it. But then she becomes a teenager, and it's just like, when is she going to start eating? We need to get her to, like, because they're bringing home blood and keeping them in the refrigerator, and that's how she stays alive.
Yeah.
But eventually the parents decide, nope, this has got to stop, and they send her out to live with her bloodthirsty vampire cousin, and she's going to learn the ropes, and she's going to become a vampire.
Yeah. And
then she encounters a suicidal teen, and he is more than willing to give himself up to her, so that she can stay alive and not die of hunger for a little while. But she's still not, so she's still not sure she wants to do it, and that's where the movie goes.
Uh-huh.
So I really liked the beginning of this movie. I thought was fantastic. It starts off when Sasha is a little girl. It's her birthday, and and so they give her a present, and it's a piano, and it turns out she's like a little keyboard. Yeah. And it turns out she's like a piano prodigy. She just immediately starts playing. And then the doorbell rings and her aunt is like, oh, it must be another present. And like, what? We didn't expect another present. And it's this fucking goofy ass birthday clown.
Yeah.
And the clown shows up and Sasha is immediately like delighted. She loves it, right? And the clown comes in and he's doing all his dumb clown dancing around and he's doing magic tricks. And the whole family are just staring at him like, what is this guy? This is so stupid. And Sasha is just so excited about the whole clowning business.
Yeah.
And eventually the clown says he's going to do a magic trick and he gets in a box. And the cousin, who's also a young girl at this point, she's like, are we done with this? When are we going to eat this guy? And we're off and running, right? And that's so they eat the clown. But yeah, so like the movie establishes.
Hey, if they did when they ate the clown, did they say it tasted a little funny?
Oh, that's terrible. So before the opening credits, this movie establishes it's a really unique vampire world, right? Where it's just like we have vampire families and there's like a whole vampire community infrastructure. Like, so the fangs of the vampires in this movie only protrude when they're like hungry or turned on or they're going to eat somebody.
Yeah.
So what Sasha is, she doesn't want to eat, so her fangs don't come in. So they like take her to a vampire dentist.
Right.
And then the dentist is like, well, I don't know what the problem is. So then they take her to a vampire psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And it's just like and it's all taking place at night because they're vampires. But
Right.
It's just like, we have this whole weird world, right? But like, it's the first, like, I don't know, less than 10 minutes of the movie is all before we meet the Sasha that's the main character of the movie as a young adult.
Yeah.
But it establishes exactly what's going on in the movie. It's a perfect opening.
Yeah.
It sets the tone. It's really funny.
Yeah.
And it's just great. It's just really cool. So I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So the main human character is this kid named Paul, and he is in high school and he's bullied constantly. And he's just like, he's suicidal. He hates his life.
Yeah.
And a big part of the movie is Sasha trying to get up the nerve to eat him. And one of the ways she's doing it is just like, well, maybe if you have a dying wish, I can help grant your dying wish and then I'll have no problem eating you. Yeah. So he's like, he decides that all of the people who are bullying him, he wants to go fuck with them. Yeah. So that's like a fun montage where he's just fucking with people. That shit was really fun too. But this movie is also like, it's funny, right? It's a comedy for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also like kind of about dissatisfaction with life, right? Like it's both of these characters, Sasha with not wanting to eat and Paul with hating,
not wanting to live.
Yeah, not wanting to be alive because he hates everything about his life. These characters are just like totally going through life without any kind of joy, right? But there are a lot of like beautiful scenes of the two of them together. These two people or non-person, whatever, just making this connection. It's like there's a great scene in Sasha's bedroom where she has a record player. She's got a collection of records, and Paul's like, which one's your favorite? And they put on this Brenda Lee record. I think it's called Emotions. And it's just a still camera shot of the two of them standing in front of her record player, and then the song comes on and she starts lip syncing along with the song and dancing along, and he's just kind of watching her. And then eventually like he starts getting into the song and he starts dancing along, and then she looks at him and she's like, oh fuck, I'm supposed to be eating this guy, and she's like gets pissed off about the whole thing. But it's like a 2-minute long totally static camera shot of just watching the two of them, and they're adorable. They're just two amazing, adorable, dorky kids, and it's so great. I just loved it so much. It's like Paul is like, he looks like Weird Science era Anthony Michael Hall, except French. And she looks, Sasha looks like the daughter from The Incredibles come to life in human form. And like they're so like just kind of awkward about everything, and it just like I don't know, the way the characters are presented and the way that the two actors portray them, they're so lovable. I'm so into both of them. It's just so great. I don't know. I really enjoyed everything about this movie.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. So Sasha is sent to live with her cousin Denise, who is a typical vampire. And she, she's like a good-looking young woman, so she's able to attract these douchey dudes.
Yeah.
And she just kills all these douchebag guys. And she lives in like this hipster loft. She's a painter, and she's got weird paintings all over and meat hooks everywhere from the dudes that she's killing. So when she takes Sasha out, she's like, okay, we're going to kill this guy. And they like kidnap this drunk douchebag named JP outside of a bar. And he's the douchiest guy you could ever imagine, right? And so like they take him to his place, and he gets out of their car, and he's like, come on, come to my place. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
So Denise says, okay, now when you bite him, make sure you keep drinking until he dies, because if you don't, he's going to get turned, and then we're going to have to deal with this guy for all eternity. And sure enough, Sasha stops Denise from killing him after she bites him.
Yeah.
So JP is just hanging around for the rest of the movie. And every time you see him, he's just like making some stupid ass comment about whatever. And every time he speaks, I was laughing. I thought he's so funny.
It was really funny.
So he was really great. And Sasha's parents are like, her dad is like this really well-meaning guy. He's like, no, she doesn't want to kill, whatever, who cares? He tells his wife, you just bring home the blood and we'll all drink it. We can live that way. Who cares? And it's just he wants to go along with everything. And it's just, but nobody else seems to think that this is okay.
Spoiler warning. Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person. Spoilers ahead. Skip to the next chapter or minute marker. 30 minutes and 23 seconds to hear the verdict. You have been warned.
The movie ends. Sasha and Paul, they go around and they perform all these pranks on all the various people, and then they kill one of the bullies that's bullying him. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of this mess that they've gotten themselves into. And Paul decides that the way they're going to do it is that she turns him into a vampire.
Yeah.
So she turns him into a vampire. And this is where the title of the movie gets mentioned, where Paul and Sasha become these two vampires. And the way they're going to do it from now on is they're going to like Dr. Kevorkian people vampirically.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's just like the movie ends with this old woman who's dying of whatever in the hospital, and Paul and Sasha come along and they're like, we're going to take you to the other side in a very soothing, because Sasha's got this piano playing ability. So she's playing this beautiful piano music as this woman expires and they're draining her blood. And it's like, now we have blood. So this is the way that we're going to go about doing this. And I thought it was really cool because the whole time I'm like, how are they going to land this plane? How are we ever going to get out of this situation, right?
Because wasn't there a point where she was turning him, where she was drinking too much?
Yeah. She almost kills him by when she drinks him to turn him. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be, because it's a love story, so I think it's supposed to be like her sucking his blood is. I mean, obviously, vampirism is always sexy, right? This is the basis of it, right? It was a Victorian construction, because you can't have sex in books, but you can have vampires, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, when she's draining him, it's like, oh, she's really into this guy, and she like goes a little too far and almost kills him.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just like, so how are they going to get out of this? Where it's like, either she's going to have to start killing people, or she's going to die, right? That's the whole point of the movie. Yeah. And I think they found it's kind of a like elegant little way to get around it, where
they stayed true to the characters.
Yeah, suicidal consenting people. That's just good. That's who they're going to get from now on. That's what we're going to do. And so the two of them are just now these two euthanizers. Yeah. And that's how they both stay alive.
Yeah. I thought this was a really fun vampire movie.
Yeah,
it was just really funny. It reminded me of kind of like Shaun of the Dead, kind of.
Yeah,
like in that comedy horror vein. I really dug it.
I thought it was like it felt like at times anyway. It felt like Lost in Translation, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, these two people finding each other, and but they don't know what they're doing with themselves.
Yeah.
It's just like, it felt like a Sofia Coppola vampire movie.
Yeah, it kind of did. And it was really well directed.
Yeah.
And really well acted.
Great. I was delighted by this movie. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I went to work today and I kept going up to people. I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you this movie. You're never going to watch it, but you should anyway. Nobody's going to watch this movie. It's so stupid. It's on Mubi is the only place you can stream it without paying for it or pirating it. And nobody has that shit. It's just like, I don't know anybody that's ever going to watch this movie. But if you're listening to this podcast right now,
seek it out.
Find this movie.
Yeah.
It is totally worth your time.
Yeah, seek it out.
Yeah. Yeah. This is, yeah.
All right, Ken. So is
Humanist, vampire, etc.
Yeah. Is it a pass pirate pay for you?
Oh, super duper pay, man.
Yeah,
I
pay for me too.
This movie is definitely one of the best movies we've watched for this pod.
This is so weird. I'm very curious to see what you think about the next one, because I wasn't sure you liked this.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure you liked. I thought you'd think it was too goofy or something.
Oh man.
But I'm glad you liked it.
I was totally on board.
I really
I
dug
was
it.
so happy after watching this movie. I think it's absolutely great. Like I said,
right on. So it didn't suck.
It did. Oh man. Oh man. Just because you're an old man doesn't mean you got to lean into the dad jokes, sir.
Do it hard on this one.
Our last movie today is 2024's Nosferatu.
Yes.
This is a remake directed by Robert Eggers.
Heavily anticipated Nosferatu.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talking about this. So before we got into all of these things, maybe still, I'm not sure. If you would ask me like a month ago what my favorite vampire movie ever is, I would have told you it is the original remake of Nosferatu. The Werner Herzog version with Klaus Kinski. I love it. I think it's
I've never seen it.
Super creepy, dark, weird.
I've seen the original.
Yeah.
I've seen the old black and white one.
And I don't love the original. I don't.
I do.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's super creepy.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. I was a little dubious about this movie, even though I like all of Robert Eggers' movies. Have you seen all of his stuff? Have you seen The Witch?
I haven't. I've seen The Witch. And I think that might be it.
Oh, you didn't see The Lighthouse?
I haven't seen The Lighthouse, no. And I need to.
Lighthouse is that movie is a lot. It's crazy. I mean, The Northman also is a lot.
I want to see them all because I really liked The Witch.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah. So the thing that struck me most about this movie, what I kept thinking about, is that Robert Eggers seems to be a filmmaker who does not have any time for ironic interpretations. Right? Like he wants everybody, you can't be going into this movie thinking about snarkiness. You need to be totally bought into everything he's going for because he is all in. Like all of the actors in this movie are just super going for it in every single way. Mm-hmm. And the music and the look of it seems to me like a lot of people are going to hate this movie. Like a lot of people are going to think that this movie is hokey because it's really overdone, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But if you're along for the ride, I think it's almost, a lot of the time, it's magnificent.
Okay.
Like, so much of this movie I thought was just fantastic. Like, I was able to totally buy in almost immediately just because this movie looks fantastic. I mean, I know we've been talking about that a lot with all of these movies, but the look of this movie is just like absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
All of the shadows and washed out colors. There's a lot of stuff that's it's black and white-ish, but it's also just kind of like washed out colors.
Yeah.
And it just looks gray and bleak. It just looks fantastic. Yeah. There's a recurring bit about how Count Orlok is able to get control of people because his shadow covers them.
Yeah.
So like the use of shadowy hands and figures and like the silhouette of bodies creeping along walls and like growing huge and covering up
which
people.
was part of the original Nosferatu,
yeah, that's
right?
definitely that's definitely taken from the original.
Yeah.
But it just looks so good.
Yeah.
I had no problem being totally bought in all the way for this movie.
Okay.
But it just seems to me like I've been hearing people talk about how they don't like this movie and like it's dumb. And I feel like if you don't let the movie take you where it wants to go, then you're not going to enjoy it.
Okay.
That's the way I feel about it. And frankly, I have no time for people like that. Where it's just like, you know what? I guess if the filmmaking style doesn't work for you, then I guess that's your thing and be that way. But like, I don't know. Bill Skarsgård plays Count Orlok. He's the Dracula character in this movie.
With a big old Cossack muzzy.
He's got a giant mustache.
Big old Nosferatu flavor saver.
And he is like, talk about your gigantic performances, right? Like he is Darth Vader breathing throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And like speaking with this ridiculously thick Romanian or something accent.
Yeah.
And every line is delivered like a this, and it like just so going for it. And like I said, if you're not, if you're just looking for things to nitpick in this movie, you should be like, what the hell is this guy doing? It's totally bleh. But like, I think he's so creepy. I like Bill Skarsgård. I would never. I haven't seen him in very many things, but I would never want to encounter this person on the street. Like he seems like a total.
Yeah, he seems like he's like angling to be like this generation's Boris Karloff.
Yeah, I was thinking he seems like he's Andy Serkis. He's the new Andy Serkis.
Yeah, but specifically with monsters,
horror,
though,
with monsters. Yeah,
Andy Serkis has done a bunch of stuff.
Right. That's why I thought you saw Barbarian, right?
Yeah, I love Barbarian.
Right, Barbarian's awesome, but Bill Skarsgård being in that movie, you immediately see him and you're like, oh, I know where this is going. And
he plays a regular
right,
dude.
he's just a regular dude. And it's just like, oh, this is brilliant. This is inspired. What a great idea. But yeah, so like I said, everybody is really going for it, and I thought that for the most part, it really works. But there are some scenes where it's like, whenever people are expected to be freaked out, like all of the actors, I think they're doing absolutely fantastic jobs. Or when people are possessed or insane or whatever, like that kind of big, giant acting, I feel like serves the movie so well. It's really great. But there are also times when the movie seems to want us to care about these people as human beings, and like we're getting emotional. Like there's a guy played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, and his whole family gets caught up in the whole vampire plague thing that is happening in this movie, and he's like playing the concerned husband and father, and I just think he's terrible. Like, because he's trying to be an empathetic person, and I don't think this movie does empathy well at all.
I also think that Lily Rose Depp had some real bad moments.
Really bad.
Like high school acting moments.
Like, I feel like I said, the stuff where she is possessed
was really good.
Also, like, there's a lot of, like, again, like, sexy stuff where it's like when she is dealing with Count Orlok in her dreams or in reality, is like a lot of orgasmic kind of things going on.
Yeah, all that was good.
And she plays the ecstasy part of it really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the stuff where, this movie, it should be said, Nosferatu is, in 1922, they couldn't get the rights to the book for Dracula. So they just made this Dracula adjacent story to the point where they couldn't
real closely adjacent.
And this movie is Dracula.
It's just Dracula.
It's Dracula.
The only difference that I could spot was they all the same characters.
Yeah.
There was a Renfield. Yeah. There was a Van Helsing.
Exactly.
There was a boat ride, which isn't in a lot of the movies, but it's in the book.
Right.
It's in some of them.
Yep.
but it was like dead on.
Yeah.
Dracula. The only difference that I could see was Dracula could like shapeshift,
right,
and be like a man about town.
Yeah.
You know, charming.
Right.
And Count Orlok.
Right. He's just a gross vampire, creepy dude.
Gross all the time.
I think also the plague of rats. I think that's only. I don't think that's in Dracula. I think that's only a Nosferatu thing.
Yeah, I do think at least in. Did you ever see the Dracula that the guys from Sherlock did?
No.
It was a TV show, and
No,
it was like Sherlock. It was like 3 movies.
Okay.
It was really, really good.
Okay.
Really good. And he could turn into a rat in that. And I think
interesting.
I think Dracula has been known to turn into rats. Or a rat or a pack of rats.
Yeah. Because I know the plague of rats is a huge part of the 1979 Nosferatu. Like that's like,
oh yeah,
it's huge, and it's super creepy. It's super creepy here too.
Yeah,
like just like fantastic. But yeah, Lily Rose Depp. So her husband is the Jonathan Harker character, and he goes off to Transylvania and he encounters Count Orlok, who is Dracula, and all of the stuff where she is just like, oh, I'm missing my husband, and she's like trying to talk about their love and I'm totally with you. I think she is not a good enough actor to handle this.
It took me out of it a little.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Which I'm really forgiving when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I really try hard on my suspension of disbelief when I'm watching a movie because I want to watch it in the purest way possible.
Right, absolutely.
And if something jars me out of it, I'm like, ooh.
I'm totally with you. And I'm the exact same way with what happened here. I was. There were stretches of this movie where I was like, is this the best movie I've seen in years? And then there were also stretches of this movie where I was like, is this even good? Like, a lot of the.
I was wrestling with the same exact thing.
Yeah, like Lily Rose Depp and Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think there's a lot of the movie where they're just not doing well, as they're not good at acting, and I thought
Nicholas Hoult did good.
Yeah. I like Nicholas Hoult a lot.
Yeah.
I think Willem Dafoe, he's the Van Helsing guy. And
oh yeah, he was having a ball.
Oh, from the moment he comes on screen, we're like, oh yeah, he is into this.
He was chewing up some scenery and having a ball, and the guy to watch.
The guy who plays the Renfield character also just totally going for it.
Yeah,
so funny. Yeah. Just absolutely like over the top, crazy, creepy shit doing all the time. It's
which also. Nicholas Hoult played Renfield to...
Oh, he was in the movie Renfield.
He was Renfield.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Nicolas Cage's Dracula.
That's right. I forgot about that. That's really funny.
So this is the second time he's been dealing with these vampires.
But yeah, so that's the only problem I had with the movie was that anytime the movie wants us to feel empathy, I just feel like the actors are not really up to it.
No.
And I don't know that Eggers is up to it either. Like, I don't know if the writing is there. I don't know that he is.
Yeah. Have we ever seen, like, I haven't seen all of his movies,
no,
but I saw The Witch, and The Witch was all about moody,
right?
You know, dark tone, and there wasn't really a lot of empathy. Or it was just kind of, it was kind of cruel. It was a
right.
It was a brutal movie.
And he does that stuff really well.
Yeah.
And so when he gets away from that, I don't know. I mean, whatever. He makes good enough movies that I'm going to see the stuff that he makes for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Well, you know what I get a whiff of though, and I'm really sad about it because I like The Witch so much, and this is like when I saw that, I'm like, this is like a real visionary director.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
And then I haven't seen the other ones, but I plan on them.
Yeah.
I plan on seeing them. But they've gotten great reviews. People are huge fans of them.
Yeah.
And now he's going into like remake territory.
Right.
And it's getting a little Tim Burton-y for me.
Yeah,
you know,
I can
like,
see that.
Do you remember those first Tim Burton movies?
Oh,
How awesome they were.
Oh, yeah.
How you're like, this is so great. Like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood. Like
all those movies are great.
Those three were like I couldn't wait to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And he just turned into an impression of himself.
I think he's bad. Yeah. I love every Tim Burton movie up until he did the Planet of the Apes remake.
That sounds right.
And then after that, I don't like any of them. I guess I liked Sweeney Todd.
There were a few offshoots. Big Eyes I thought was pretty good.
I thought Big Eyes was okay.
Sweeney Todd I did really like.
I really like Sweeney Todd.
But that was built for Tim Burton.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You know?
Right, but
then he's doing like Dumbo and like, come on,
but
man.
like, and his Dark Shadows, Johnny, all that Johnny Depp stuff is terrible, I think.
Yeah, it just gets into this weird feedback loop of like just Tim Burton style over substance, you know?
I don't know.
I fear this is where it's going. Do you hear what Robert Eggers' next movie is going to be?
No, what is it?
Labyrinth.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. That doesn't bode well.
That sounds Tim Burton-y, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to have to be fucking directing Muppets and shit. Like, and I love the Muppets.
Right.
I love Labyrinth.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Robert Eggers do Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's rough.
I want to see him do something I've never seen before.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, The Lighthouse is... it's as unique as a movie can be. Yeah. It is a completely
Which is what I've heard
one
about
of
it,
one.
yeah.
Like, it's bananas.
That's great. What I want. That's what I want.
Yeah, and I wish you would. And The Northman, I don't love The Northman. I didn't think it was all that great, but it is certainly not like other things. Yeah. So, I mean, and although the thing with The Northman is it is kind of loosely based on Hamlet, so maybe if he's doing things like, so this movie, it does a lot of well-worn, like it is very much beholden to the previous Nosferatus and to Dracula.
Not a lot of surprises.
Yeah, so hopefully if he's doing Labyrinth, he'll be able to go outside of what the original is more, because that's what I want to see from him. I want to see him doing his own thing more, you know what I mean?
It's Labyrinth though, so you're gonna have some creatures.
Yeah.
You know, some friendly, cute creatures.
Right. Yeah.
And now Robert Eggers is doing cute Muppets.
Yeah. Maybe he won't. Maybe it'll be a super gross, dark labyrinth.
And Skarsgård has got to be our Goblin King, right?
Could be.
I mean, he's probably already got the job.
One of the Skarsgårds, really. Like, because Alexander Skarsgård is in The Northman, and he's fucking nuts in that movie. Yeah. So it could be either one of the brothers. Who knows?
I don't know. I think he might be too fat. You need somebody skinny with a big old dick to be the Goblin King.
Yeah, the thing about Robert Eggers is that, like, the man knows how to shoot a movie. He knows how to fill a frame with interesting things that are going on. Like, not just like there are a lot of cool, like, landscape shots and shots of the city proper and all those things, but also just shots of people's faces and the shadow and lights moving around on them. Yeah. There's a shot in this movie that I thought I was blown away while it was happening. It's near the beginning. Nicholas Hoult he arrives in this gypsy village right outside of Dracula's castle, and he gets off of his horse, and this like band of gypsy mariachis or whatever, they all start like piling in behind him, and there's a guy playing a lute or something, like right aggressively up in Nicholas Holt's face, and then the camera cuts to this woman dancing. It's not cuts, it's all one shot, moving camera, and then this woman dancing fills the frame, and then she like ducks out of the frame, and then there's a guy who's just cackling at Nicholas Hoult, like knowing what's going on. We all know what's going to happen because he's about to go to Count Orlok's castle, and bad shit is going to happen. So but this gypsy guy is just like cackling at him for like 15 seconds, and it's all one shot. It looked so gorgeous. I'm like, this movie, holy shit.
Yeah.
When this movie is cooking, man, it was so good, I thought. But
I thought so too. I thought him riding up to the castle and the view of the castle and everything, and the whole inside of Orlok's castle was really awesome.
Yep. Yeah. It's
the scene where we got to see Count Orlok's Johnson, where he came out of the coffin.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it is grotesque and gorgeous. The shots of this movie, some of the shit that's going on here, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, and I thought Skarsgård did a great job.
Yeah, I thought so too.
The voice, like you said, they just everything be damned. They just went for it.
Fucking go for it.
Just big old swing.
Yep. And so much of it worked that I'm so happy that they got this movie made. I'm really glad that it went went the way it did. Yep.
All right, so Ken, I am curious because I don't know. Well, I know it's not a pass.
Yeah.
So Ken, where do you stand on Robert Eggers' recent remake of Nosferatu? Pass, pirate, or pay?
This is a pay.
A pay. Okay.
We got ourselves my first triple pay for me since we've been doing
this is the
show.
First one?
The first one for me. You got
on the vampire episode, nonetheless.
Vampire episode.
Oh, I'd have never guessed that.
Unbelievable.
3 pays.
A triple pay.
I'm a pirate on it.
Interesting. Wow.
I'm a pirate.
Yeah.
Like it didn't like like you said, the scenes that grabbed me, but the scenes that didn't. Also, there were no surprises. It was just a pretty straightforward Dracula movie.
Yeah.
But I definitely see it, but I don't know. I'm paying for it.
Yeah, for me, just the stuff that worked so well, and the stuff that didn't work is so much less of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
That on the whole, it's just really good.
I'm right on the edge.
Yeah.
But I think I'm falling on that side.
Yeah. This is, it's not as good as humanist vampire seeking whatever. It's not as good, but it's still very, very good.
So you are a pay.
Pay.
And I am a pass pirate pay.
Oh, nice. We got a trifecta. I love it. We did it. All right, everybody. That is our show for this week. Be sure to tune in next week. We are going to be doing a trifecta of movies about food. We're going to be doing Big Night, Babette's Feast, and The Taste of Things. Come hungry and don't miss it. Thanks for tuning in to Pass Pirate Pay. This episode was produced by the one and only Andy Morris. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. We'd hate for you to miss out on all the fun. Curious about where to stream the movies we talked about? Head on over to passpiratepay.com. We've got everything listed with handy links on where to watch. You can also join the conversation on our Facebook page or stalk our cinematic musings on Letterboxd. Links are on the site. Got a movie or a TV show you think we should review? Fill out the contact form, or this is cool, you can even text us right through the episode player on our website's front page. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Until next time, keep watching, keep rating, and keep it past Pirate Pay.